ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। Yeah. Ami, we can chant. So we're going to chant from number 42. All of us can chant this. Yamimam pushpitam vacham
यामिमां पुष्पितां वाचं
pravadantya vipaschitaha
प्रवविदन्त्य विपश्चितः
pravadanti
प्रवदन्ति
avipaschitaha
अविपश्चितः
vedavadarataः partha
वेदवार्ताविता पार्थ
vedavadarataः
वेदवादर्ताः
partha
पार्थ
नान्यदस्तीति
नान्यदस्तीति
वादिनः
वादिनः
कामात्मानः
कामात्मानः
स्वर्गपराः
स्वर्गपराः
जन्मकर्म
जन्मकर्म
फलप्रदां
फलप्रदां
क्रियाविशेष
क्रियाविशेष
बहुलां
बहुलां
भोगैश्वर्य
भोगैश्वर्य
गतिं प्रति
गतिं प्रति
भोगैश्वर्य
भोगैश्वर्य
प्रसक्तानां
प्रसक्तानां
taya pahrita
taya pakrita
chetasam
chetasam
vyavasayatmika
vyavasaya atmika
buddhihi
buddhihi
samadhauna
samadhauna
vidhiyate
vidhiyate
traigunya vishayaha
traigunya vishayaha
vedaha
vedaha
nistraigunyo
traigunyo
bhavarjuna
bhavarjuna
nirdvandvo
nirdvandvo
nityasattvasthaha
nityasattvasthaha
niryogakshemaha
niryogakshemaha
atmavan.
atmavan.
Yeah, good. So you have picked up a good amount of chanting there. I can see that. So Krishna, having described these people who are committed to bhogas, means committed to pleasures and power and wealth, briefly. So they say, they have some words, I don't know in English there are words, there are things like, they use some, when it comes to food they say glutton, they say gastronome, they use some words, especially when it comes to food. For enjoyment, I don't know, somebody who is just purely out there to enjoy, that kind of a word, maybe there is one, but it's not coming to me. So he's talking about such people, and having done that, so he says, for such people, this clarity is which is so important, to go from dharma, artha, kama, to go from those three to moksha. Their clarity is needed. Simply saying I want moksha is not enough. You must understand at least a little bit of what moksha is. Then the journey will be fascinating, rewarding, and so having said that, here he makes a very bold statement in shloka number 45. We saw that last time. Traigunya vishayaha vedaha. So he introduced the technical word guna. We saw that. And guna means what? Sattva guna, rajo guna, and tamo guna. We saw that. Sattva guna means that guna which gives the person a tendency to be calm, a tendency to analyze, a tendency to not over-analyze, just analyze, okay? Don't think too much. Tendency to analyze, okay? Tendency to know. These kinds of attributes are attributed to Sattva Guna. Then Rajo Guna, dynamism, activity, ambition, and along with that, frustration, disappointment, depression also. Then you have Tamo Guna. Tamo Guna, dullness, lack of enthusiasm, inability to follow, understand beyond a certain point. That's called Tamo Guna. So he says, suddenly he says, Traigunya Vishayaha Vedaha. Vedas are all about these three gunas, he says. What he is saying is, Sattva gives happiness, Tamas, Rajas, Tamas will give sorrow. He says, Vedas, you are welcome to follow the Vedas, but Arjuna, whatever rituals you follow, whatever karmas are prescribed, it can only give you sukha or dukkha. That is all the Vedas can do for you. And last time there was a question in the satsang. So what is this? You're writing off the Vedas like this. And so the answer to that is, it is referring to what? The Karma Kanda portion of the Vedas. Correct? Karma Kanda. So the portion of the Vedas which cater to my dharma, artha and kama. Okay, please understand that very clearly. So that portion of the Vedas, you're welcome. I know you have Shraddha in the Vedas and you do all this, all the karmas, but understand that it will keep you in samsara. It will give you sukha dukkha, it will give you punyam also, and punyam means another birth will be there, and this goes on and on. Only difference between you, O Arjuna, and the other person who is not a Vaidika is what? He is also seeking dharma, artha and kama. And you use the Vedas and seek dharma, artha and kama. That's the only difference. So this kind of a statement he makes here, Traigunya Vishayaha Vedaha, and then he says, hey Arjuna, Nistraigunyo Bhava. Nistraigunyo Bhava. Nis, this prefix nis, nihi is there. Nis. Nis means move away from, withdraw from, do not be Traigunyaha. That is the meaning. The ni always negates. Often it negates. Need not. This is one of the meanings is negation. Do not be somebody who is attached to these three gunas, who is committed to the three gunas. This is what he is saying. So again a technical word, but once we understand this Trigunatmika Vedaha, then we can follow what this Traigunya Vishayaha means. So that means what? Do not be committed to dharma, artha and kama. Be committed to moksha. Doesn't mean I give up dharma. Dharma is always there. Without dharma, there is no moksha anyway. So, but commitment to artha and kama, that is the main thing here. Nistraigunyo bhava. Do not just shift your focus completely. That is what. So it's a big thing for Arjuna to hear all these things. Arjuna was a Vaidika. He was a Kshatriya. He lived amidst sadhus those days, and that is why he asked for Shreyas. Otherwise, where is the question? And he knew Krishna is the person who can deliver the goods, and so he asked for Shreyas. Remember, therefore, so there is a recipient ready to accept what is there. I am missing something in this life. Krishna now says, Nistraigunyo bhava. Be somebody who is not committed to arthan kama. Shankara gives a meaning for Nistraigunyo bhava. Shankara says, Nishkamaha bhava. Nishkama. If you look up the Bhashyam, he says Nishkamo bhava. So how do you translate Nishkamaha then? You know, Nistraigunyo I don't understand. So now he gives a meaning Nishkama. Now Nishkama also I must understand. So Kamaha. Kamaha means, in this case, pleasure. And he is just using one word for everything. Pleasure and power. Nishkamaha bhava. Be free from the desire for pleasure and power. That is Nishkamaha bhava. He says that. And so let those not drive your actions. You're an ambitious person, but you have to now shift your focus. We have to see, of course, how to shift the focus, etc. We will see later. But then he said that. Okay, now, because we can keep talking about this for a long time. So we should move on also, Nirdvandvaha. So there are 4 words in the second line. Nirdvandvaha, Nityasatvastaha, Niryogakshemaha, and Atmavan. Each of these words describe a person. Describe a person by highlighting an attribute of that person. Okay, so let's see this one by one. Nirdvandvaha. Nirdvandvaha bhava. You can make each as one sentence. Nirdvandvaha bhava. Be a nirdvandva. That is the way to look at it. Be a nirdvandva. Again, this dvandva is a technical word, very important in our Shastra. Dvandva. I think we covered it some time ago, if I remember. So, a pair of opposites is called a dvandva. A couple is called a dvandva. Couple means couple of things. A pair of things is called a dvandva. So, generally used for this heat and cold. Pair of opposites, profit, loss, less and more, um, victory and defeat, labha, labho, jaya, jayo. We saw that before. So that is called a dvandva. So be a nirdvandva. This is what he says here. It's again a bold statement. Do not be dependent on these pairs of opposites, happiness, sorrow. Also is a dvandva. Do not be dependent on them. That is what he's saying. And these are all, it's a tough call here. This is completely turning the whole thing around. What do you mean by don't depend on these things? I depend on these things. It's cold, I make the room warm. If it is warm, I turn on the AC, I open the windows. This is how life is. And you're saying don't be committed to dvandva. Don't let dvandvas drive your life. Okay. So we will see more about it later. So he has mentioned that statement. Then the question can arise, of course. Yeah, okay, that is fine. So I won't be elated or depressed. So, okay, whenever something good happens to me, I won't be elated. I will just remain calm. And or other way around. Whenever something unpleasant happens, I will remain calm. And then when something great happens, I will just enjoy. I will be happy. I will, of course, happiness. He doesn't say don't be happy. Just be happy. And I will enjoy. I will celebrate all this and that. Then the answer is pretty simple. Hey, if you are given to elation, you are going to be subject to depression also. This is the law. This is psychology. You don't need Vedanta to prove this. This is going to happen. So it's not, the two sides of the coin are there. So you can't escape. You can't escape depression if elation is there. That's how it is. So therefore, you keep that in mind. Nirdvandvo bhava. Okay. Now that is enough. Now let's see. Nitya sattvastho bhava. What does it say here? Nitya sattvastha. So sattva, the same sattva which we saw in Triguna, that same sattva. Sattvastha is a technical word. Means sattve tishtati. One who remains in sattva. Literal translation, literal meaning of that. One who remains in sattva means what? One whose commitment is to know what is what. Dig deeper. I want to know what this is all about. How come the Vedas gives all these things to me and then suddenly it also says you be careful, don't get caught up in this. What is the meaning of that? What is the puzzle here? I want to understand that commitment. Sattvastaha. Be committed to that knowledge, which the Vedas will offer you. If you are ready, it will offer you. So, Nitya Sattvastaha, be always committed to knowledge. Okay. Nitya Sattvastho Bhava. Then what? Niryoga Kshemaha Bhava. Be one who is Niryoga Kshema. Yoga Kshema is another technical word. This yoga has nothing to do with the Hatha Yoga and all these things. Yoga Kshema is a pair that comes. Those days, when they used to write letters, I remember, long before I started writing letters, I remember my parents used to write letters, that to their sisters, brothers, etc., mothers, parents, etc. They used to write postcard, inland letter. Those days we used to have. These days, those phrases don't exist. If you tell your small child, postcard and all that, they will talk about postcard.com and there's no other postcard. So they used to say, yoga kshematthirku badil podavum, means please respond back about your yoga and kshema. That is the meaning. Means what? Yoga apraptasya praptihi, getting what you don't have, that pursuit is called yoga. Accomplishing what you have not already accomplished is called yoga. So let's give an example from those days. They didn't have a TV. The television, just the late 70s, television started coming to many cities and metro. Hyderabad also, I remember around 78, 80, 79, suddenly TV. So big queue was there, and you have to order it, and then you have to wait for a year, and then you will get a TV. And so I don't have a TV. I want a television. So yoga, that pursuit, getting what I want. So our entire life is basically, if you analyze, you keep getting what you don't have. That is called yoga. So yoga, everything. I want a degree, I want good grades. So yoga. I want to be married, I want to have children. Yoga, very important. Yoga, all these things. So that pursuit is called yoga. Then kshema. Kshema means praptasya rakshanam. Now, once you get something, what do you have to do? You can't keep quiet. You have to maintain it. That's why they say you have to maintain it. So that's why they say when you buy this product, whether it's an electronic item, refrigerator or microwave or television, they say for another so many rupees, 1,000 rupees, you can get, what do you call this, 5 years worry-free maintenance plan. Something happens, you can we'll take care of it. For some deals must be there. Why maintenance? So now you have to decide. You thought you decided everything over. Suddenly they give you this offer. It's an unending process. The decision making when you buy these things, and then delivery, this, that. So anyway, that maintenance, that is called kshema. They know you want the television to work not just on day one, but keep on working. And they also know that it may not work. Someday you're waiting for the cricket match and you turn it on and there's a blank screen. They know all these things will happen. So maintenance plan. That maintenance plan is called kshema. Children. You have children. Now what? My goodness. This taking care of children just never ends at all. Keeps on going on and on. You thought they finished high school and they went off to college. That is when the real maintenance starts. And then it goes on and on. Then mom, dad, they keep coming back to you. So maintenance. This is called kshema. Okay? Yoga and kshema. Yoga. I'm getting bald. Therefore what? I want to get hair. And I get some hair. So whatever techniques, whether it is Ayurveda, this or that, or whether implant hair, whatever, I get some hair. But then the hair becomes gray. So I have to now maintain that hair. So now maintaining means it should not fall off. That is one thing, one type of maintenance. And then the other type of maintenance is I want it to be black, dark. And see, our fancies are all there everywhere. So all this maintenance is all kshema. Tell me which part of your day does not fall in one of these two categories, yoga and kshema. See, morning getting up, so mopping the floor, everything is all going on. Kshema only. Kshema, they will say, be kshema. That is a different kshema. Be happy, be contented, that's different. But here kshema is maintenance. Praptasya rakshanam. What you got, you have to protect it. That is the same thing. Everything, money also. You earn money, are you happy? You wanted to earn money, now you're earning money, you must be happy. No, stock market, this, that, gold is that, this is that. They keep on using this language constantly. These fellows are never happy. Never happy. When will this guy be happy? You tell me. Is there any end to the stock market? Is there any end to this? Will you put a full stop somewhere? The full stop never arrives. So this is constant. Kshema never happens. Stock market mein kshema nahi hota hai. This is the lesson I learned by watching all these people. Never. Because now you have to worry. You have to decide whether I have to pull the money, put more money. What is this? I thought this was a great investment, and this fellow is advised me to do this. This goes on forever. No end to it. So money, kshema is there. Children, family, marriage, kshema is there. Those days the marriage is over and then life goes on. These days marriage means what? So you have to protect the marriage also. Effort has to be spent because nuclear families. So stresses on the family is more. And so when the stress is more, then one can be caught blindsided and things like that. So kshema, a lot of kshema is required to sustain a marriage. So like this, we can give any number of examples. And so this is called yoga kshema. So now what Krishna is telling Arjuna? He's saying, niryoga kshema bhava. Correct? Niryoga kshema. Means what? You don't have any choice here. You can't say, I'm not going to seek anything. I'm just going to sit like a stone. You can't say that because we are built and we have to survive. And so some limited yoga kshema will be there, minimum. You do whatever you want to do, but don't depend on them. Be free from the anxieties of yoga and kshema. Be free from the anxieties of yoga and kshema. Look at that. Karma yoga. Again, prasada buddhi slowly is introduced. Niryoga kshema means what? You have to have Ishwararpana buddhi, you have to have prasada buddhi, which we will talk in a couple of verses. We will mention that. So, niryoga kshema. How can you be free from anxiety? Can't be free. Just like that, you cannot be free. It can be an advice. Be free from worries. Be free from worries. You can't give an advice like that to somebody. Correct? You can say, it's a palliative. You can say, okay, don't worry, I'm there. That you can definitely say. It soothes, very soothing. But so here, be free from the anxieties of yoga and kshema. This is what Krishna is telling. Because you have done your effort and whatever will happen, will happen. Therefore, where is the question of anxiety? This is what Krishna is saying. Okay, let's move on to the next word. Niryoga kshema atmavan. Atmavan bhava. Be an atmavan. So this word ending in van, I think by now you must know. So gunavan, balavan, bhagavan, we saw all these things, right? Same thing. So one who has bala is balavan, one who has bhaga is bhagavan. So one who has atma is atmavan. Correct? One who has atma is atmavan. Now you are wondering, wait a minute, this is a little odd. So you don't have an atma, you make sure you get an atma and be atmavan bhava. Is that what he's saying or what? No, that can't be the meaning. Because atma, everybody has an atma. All those atmas are identical, which means atma is all pervasive. All that we've already seen. Nitya sarvagata sthanuhu achaloyam sanatanaha. We saw all that. So this atmavan, the word atma, in the word atmavan cannot mean that Sachidananda Atma. So the word atma often is used in other contexts. We've seen a little bit of that before. We will see later also. So it can mean mind. Generally, it can mean mind. It can be body, mind, sense complex. All that can be atma. So not to be surprised, here also it means mind and senses. Mind and senses. So be somebody who has a mind. That is a literal meaning. Atmavan, manovan. That also is a little strange. because everybody has a mind. The mind may not work properly, but the mind is there. So everybody has a mind. So you can't say be somebody who has a mind. So here, beautiful word Atmavan. What is the meaning of that? The mind must be with yourself. Because why? What do you mean by with yourself? Is it not with me? No. My mind is there on my hair. What is the color of my hair? My mind is there on my carpet. The mind is there on the walls, on the house. The mind is there on so many other things. My cell phone, my car. My mind is there on my children. My mind is frittered away. Mind is not with me. It is there in me, but then my mind is fragmented. Fragmented. Worrying about so many things, starting from my looks onwards. And the unfortunate thing about looks is I can't change also. And if I don't like my looks, I'm finished. I'm totally finished. That is enough. How I can be happy if I don't like my looks? And so I tried my best. I spent a lot of time and look this way and that way and all that. But my mind is now focused on my looks. And like this, the mind is just gone, constantly worrying about something or the other. So Krishna says, you make sure your mind is not frittered away. Atmavan bhava. Make sure you are the master of your mind. You decide where to put your mind. You can do whatever you want. But are you the master, or is the mind dragging you to places? Or is the mind apparently victimizing you? You are a victim of this mind. So priority. See how much this prioritization, clarity is needed. Otherwise, easy to get carried away. So Atmavan, may you have the mind, may the mind not have you. Correct? May the mind not have you. Like the alcoholic. An alcoholic, he thinks he is deciding when to have drinks and what to have, etc. No, he doesn't decide anything. The drinks decides what he does not do. Like that. May you not be in the hands of fancies. May you not be in the hands of all the things that you can get attracted to. Okay. So you can include all the other things. Indifference to things that are important. Mechanical thinking. All these things Swamiji talks about when he explains the shloka. And so, may you be alert. May your mind be with you. May you use your mind where you decide to use it, not where the mind wants to go. This is why meditation is important. When we meditate, we watch our mind. And then only you realize, oh my God, what is this? I'm sitting to meditate and I'm thinking of my college days. How did my college days come now? Well, that is how it is. That is how the mind is. That is the nature of the mind. I thought I'm going to sit and meditate and listen and follow the instructions. No, this doesn't seem to work. Suddenly I wake up and I say, what happened? It's because the mind has the tendency to move. And you don't have to stop the mind from moving, but you decide. When you this is meditation. We can't give that example. I don't mean that the mind in the meditation should not move. I didn't say that. I'm saying that vasana is there, and so the mind will take you places. So when you're awake, you be the master of your mind. Use the mind. Let the mind not use you. Okay, wonderful. Atmavan. See how nice a word. Can you have a word like this in English? Can you even translate this word into English? I don't know. So the time has come for Arjuna to shift his focus. And so he says, we are now already entered into Vedanta. You've already started studying. There's no going back now. You wanted to be my student and all that. So he's saying, Nistraigunya bhava, and be committed to knowing what is this Atma. That's the final purport of this shloka. And then he is going to continue to give a beautiful example of this concept that he mentioned, Nistraigunnyo Bhava Traigunya Vishayaha Veda. He is going to give an example to prove his point. So let's go back and look at the shloka. Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nistraigunnyo Bhava Arjuna Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvastaha Niryogakshema Atmavan. So some basics. Nirdvandvaha becomes Nirdvandvo, Nitya Sattvastaha. All these are Pullinga Ekavachanam. Okay, Prathama Vibhakti. So Nitya Sattvastaha, Niryogakshemaha, and Atmavan. Okay, Atmavan is what? Is Vatup Pratyaya for Sanskrit students. Okay. So this is good because you can break it up into small fragments. Nistraigunya Vishayaha Vedaha. Vedaha Nistraigunya Vishayaha Bhavanti. Vedas, or the subject matter of the Vedas, is related to the three qualities. Is related to the three qualities. That's a literal translation. Means you must know what it means is, it means it can only give you anywhere from Sukha to Dukkha. It can give you whatever you're seeking, and of course, and you're seeking so many things through gaining Artha and Kama, and so that is what it will give you. So that is the meaning of Nistraigunya Vishayaha. Then what? Hey Arjuna. So last word Arjuna in the first line. Be one who is free from the hold of these three qualities. Hold of these three qualities, or threefold qualities. Nistraigunnyo Bhava. And then what? Kama. Nirdvandvaha Bhava. Free from literally pairs of opposites. From the hold of the pairs of opposites. You cannot escape heat and cold, etc. You can profit loss. This you cannot, more or less, you cannot escape that. It's always going to be there. But let that not victimize you. Let you don't become a victim of that. Okay. Then semicolon or a full stop. Then what? Nitya Sattvastho Bhava. Be one who is established in Sattva Guna, who is committed to Sattva Guna. Okay. Then what? Niryogakshemaha Bhava. Be one who is free from the anxieties of yoga and kshema. Anxieties of acquiring and protecting. Correct? Acquiring and protecting. Be one who is free from that. And Atmavan Bhava. Be one who is a master of oneself. Master of oneself. So that's the literal, that's the translation of this shloka. Okay. So let me read that translation once again. Many of you are writing. So the subject matter of the Vedas is related to the three qualities or variable qualities. Full stop. Hey Arjuna, be one who is free from the hold of these qualities, these threefold qualities. Comma, and from the sorrow of the pairs of opposites, within brackets sorrow, I can add. Free from the sorrow of the pairs of opposites. Then what? Semicolon. Be one who is ever established in Sattva Guna. Means committed to clarity, committed to knowing. Because earlier he said Vyavasayatmika Buddhihi. So that Sattva Guna is he's referring to as by this technical word Sattva Guna. Then what? Kama, who is free from the anxieties of acquiring and protecting. the one who is free from the anxieties of acquiring and protecting, comma, and who is a master of oneself. Okay. So with that, we can now enter the shloka number 46. Let us chant that. Who would like to? So Krishna Somanchi. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Krishna ji. Yeah. Yavanartha
Yavanartha
udapane
udapani
sarvataha
sarvataha
samplutodake.
samprutodake.
Yeah, SAMPLU. Samplutodake.
Samplutodake.
Good. Tavan sarveshu
Tavan sarveshu
vedeshu
vedeshu
brahmanasya
brahmanasya
vijanataha
vijanataha
yavanartha udapane
yavanartha udapani
sarvatas samplutodake.
sarvataha samplutodake.
Yeah, you can say sarvataha, and when you say these words together, you have to say sarvatas samplutodake.
Sarvatas samplodake.
Correct. So that S becomes, it's like a double S there. The Visarga becomes an S there. Okay. Tavan sarveshu vedeshu
Tavan sarveshu vedeshu
brahmanasya vijanataha.
brahmanasya vijanataha.
Yeah. So you can remain unmuted. So why Nistraigunya Bhava? We saw that already in the previous, when we explained the previous shloka, but here is giving an analogy, a metaphor. So I will tell you the example, what it says here. It says, you know, well, those days the well used to be important because it's a source of water at home. There was never all these piping systems and all these things. The well, every home used to have a well, or in the community there was a well, so you had to go get water from a well. And so well or a pond, any water reservoir. Now, when there is floods everywhere, floods, it's flooded, entire thing is flooded. Will you be looking for a well when there are floods? You can't look for a well also because the well is not visible. So, just like when there are floods, the well is not useful at all. Okay, that's what you must think of. So now what? For a person who knows Atma, for a Jnani, okay, for a Brahmavid, for an Atmavid, for that person, the entire Vedas are as useful to this person. How useful the Vedas are for this person? As useful as the well is to you when there is floods everywhere. Look at the example he's giving. Let me repeat that in case you didn't catch this. The well is not useful to me during floods, right? So floods and well. He's saying, for a person who knows the Atma, for a wise person, in other words, how useful the Vedas are? The Vedas are as useful to the wise person as the well is to a person in the midst of floods. Understood the example, correct? This is a very, very bold statement. My goodness, what is Krishna saying? Look at the way he's steering the boat. And so let's look at this shloka a little. So, Brahmana. the word Brahmana is introduced here. It can mean several things, the word Brahmana, depending on context. So here, a Brahmana means one who's a thinking person, one who can think, one who can understand, one who can know what's what. That person is called a Brahmana. Okay, that's all it means. Brahmana doesn't mean he's wearing all these things, forms and different types of clothes and this, that Brahmana. One who can think properly, that person is a Brahmana. Okay, then Vijanataha. What kind of Brahmana? One who knows. One who knows. One who knows what is to be known. What is to be known. Which means what? One who knows Brahma, one who knows Atma. So Vijanataha Brahmanaha. Brahmanasya means Jnaninaha. Brahmavidaha. Of the Jnani. The wise person is what is referred to by these two words, Brahmanasya and Vijanataha. Okay. Now, then what? So then go back to the example. Yavan artha udapane. So udapanam. Udapana means this reservoir of water. Reservoir of water. Udapana. And sarvataha samplutodake. Sarvataha everywhere. Samplutodakam. Everywhere floods water. Completely filled with water. There is not, you can only see water and water. Where you are supposed to see so many other things. Okay. You are supposed to see houses. You're supposed to see trees, plants, all these things you can see. The street you should see, nothing. Not visible. Savrataha samplutodake. Flood. So, when there is floods everywhere, sarvataha samplutodake, yavan artha udapane. Udapana is a pond, it's a well. So, yavan artha. Artha here is what? Artha. There is a two words there. Yavan is one word and artha is the other word. Two words are there. Yavan artha. Their artha is what? Utility, usefulness, value. When there is floods everywhere, whatever value there is in this well or this pond, okay, that is how we translate this sentence, right? Then Tavan, see, look at that Yavan and Tavan. Tavan goes with Yavan. So as much utility there is of a well when there is floods, so much or that much alone, Tavan. Then the remaining sentence. Sarveshu Vedeshu. In all the Vedas, this Vijanataha Brahmanasya, this wise person, that much utility alone this wise person will have in the entire Vedas. Correct? So, not very difficult to follow, I think, because the Vedas are meant for us, of course, no doubt. And it gives me artha and kama and dharma. It makes me seek it. It makes me be a dharmic person, no doubt. Very important. Vedas serve a very important purpose. It is supposed to make me ethical. It is supposed to make me that when I follow the Vedas. So very important role it plays. And of course, it talks about Punarjanma and so on and so forth. And it helps me accomplish what I want. Accomplishing what one wants is a very important thing. Why it's important? Because only then we will have self-worth. The self-esteem, to have a good self-esteem, you must have accomplished something, correct? Need not be big things. Some things you want to do, you achieve it. So that is why the parents will tell the children. Child will come and show, look what I did, Amma. And then you see a drawing is there. And immediately the father will say, oh my God, this is great. I didn't know you could draw all these things. When did you learn all this? And the child feels good. Yeah, I know how to do all these things. You don't know? Yeah, look, did this. Yeah, go show it to daddy. Show it to mommy. This is what they say. So immediately the child runs around, very excited. So that sense of, it gives a sense that I can do, I can be. That feeling is so important. That self-worth is important. So the parents always have to encourage children that, because after that time, the scolding time is going to start very soon. Once homework start coming and mathematics, physics, biology, all these things will start coming. And so before that season starts, you better keep your children happy and don't pamper them. They said pampering is, I saw a beautiful video recently about what pampering does to a human being. And that's the other extreme, also dangerous. Okay. But you make them feel good about who they are. They must feel good about themselves. And so that thing is so important because it sets the tone for the rest of the life. Okay. So here Vedas also makes me a dharmic person. And but Atma is what? Atma is Purnaha. For a person, for a jnani who knows Atma is Purnaha, Atma is Sarvagataha, Sthanuhu, Achalaha, I am Sanatanaha, Avinashi, all these things the jnani knows. Now what Vedas can provide him? What can the Vedas do to this person? What can the Vedas do to the person? The sugar knows, before the sugar knew it was sweet, it was jealous of all these other things. And it was jealous of jaggery, it was jealous of this, it was jealous of that. It said, I want to be this, I want to be that. And so the sugar was constantly restless. And the sugar had to be told, look, my dear, this candy that you are jealous about, in fact, you are the one who provides the sweetness to this candy. Okay, don't think the candy is sweet. The candy cannot be sweet without you. Really? Without me? You mean I gave the sweetness to the candy? Yeah, I have the. What about that Mysore pak? I tell you, Mysore pak cannot survive without you. It has a lot of you in it. In fact, it has thrice the dose of what they should put. It is so sweet. It is saturated with you only. Really? Mysore pak is all me? Yes, it's all you. Just a little bit of flour here and there they put, that's all. But it's basically you only. Oh, really? That is what it is, huh? Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. So this kind of Vedanta has to be taught to this crystal, sugar crystal. Crystal example is given because a crystal is, how do you grow a crystal? You make a solution, syrup, whatever, and you let it dry and slowly it forms crystals. Crystal is completely pure sugar, sucrose or whatever you want to call it, glucose, fructose, pure sugar. And so that crystal, it cannot be any more saturated than that. That's why crystal example. It cannot be any more sweeter than that, any sweeter than that. So that is the nature of Atma. The Jnani knows the nature of Atma. Many people in the world may like Modi better than Trump. They love Modi better than Trump, maybe, many people in the world. But they can't like the Indian sugar any more than the American sugar. Both sugars are sweet, identically sweet. There is no difference at all. So therefore, this sugar, which has come to know that its essential nature is sweetness, and it's the source of sweetness for everybody out there, then And really speaking, finally, it will know also that everybody's nature is also the same. Like that, you have a jnani. What kind of benefit that jnani will get from the Vedas? Nothing. Nothing is done. That is why a jnani is also called a krita krityaha. What needs to be done has been done. Over. Case is closed. There is no more. After the body is gone, Yama Chandragupta will close the book. Happa. Finally, this is gone. One book is just closed and kept recycled. Yama will recycle the book because he doesn't want to just throw the book in trash, So he will recycle it. So, because Yama has become a bit smarter now, environmentally more aware. So, therefore, you can understand now why Krishna is saying that the Vedas are not useful anymore to the jnani. Okay, very, very beautiful. How they think. Look at that. Look at this. See, that's why we can't call this a religion also. Religion means there is a book and there is a God, there is a book and a God and a book and a God, and you are wedded to that. And this, our dharma says, book is there, God is there, everything is there. But you also have to grow out of the book. Look at that. You have to grow out of the book. Is it not? And it says you better ask the question, who is this God? And what is the relationship between that God and me? You have to ask. God created me alone is not enough. It's not enough. Okay. So, tavan sarveshu vedeshu yavan artha udapane. As much benefit, as much utility, as much value there is in this pond of water. When there is floods everywhere, so much value this jnani will have in the Vedas. Okay. That is the thing here. And so Krishna is creating an interest in Karma Yoga. Creating an interest. Because Karma Yoga, Krishna is really not defined. He's only going to talk about it in the 3rd chapter. Just some insights he's giving, and he's going to give some more insights in the next few verses. And so, but this shloka highlights the need for Karma Yoga. Because Niryoga Kshema Bhava means what? Niryoga Kshemaha means what? Free from anxiety. Immediately you will ask the question, how can I be free from anxiety? Therefore, Karma Yoga is very important. We will cover that. Krishna will cover that. And so, for that person who has a Vyavasayatmika Buddhihi, clarity is there. And therefore, there is no more getting lost in all these things, all these magazines, colored, glossy magazines that are coming. I am not going to get lost anymore. And no more experimentation. A new vehicle for investment is there. And okay, all the investment is done. What more investment do you want? I am going to focus. So experimentation is gone. And the storm is over. The storm is already over. When the clarity comes, the storm that is constantly there is settled. Even the clarity gives you so much freedom. Look at that. So much freedom it gives. Jnanam, you can imagine. So this is how Krishna is going to continue. Now the next shloka is a very popular shloka, Karmanya Vadika Raste. We will see that in the next class. So I think we have translated the shloka also, right? So yavan artha udapane. So as much utility as, so let's do it this way. For the Brahmana who knows the self, Brahmanasya vijanataha, all the Vedas, sarveshu vedeshu, are of only so much use. Tavan artha, you should put a copy and paste artha there after tavan, are only of so much use as a small reservoir, udapane, as a small reservoir is when there is flood everywhere. Sarvataha samplutodake. Yavan, you can add in between. So for the Brahmana who knows the self, all the Vedas are of only so much use as a small reservoir is when there is flood everywhere. Okay. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम।
Thank you, Guruji.